Here's Ruby News Monthly Recap for May 2026 with the biggest music headlines, chart moves, tours, releases, and a few non-music stories that crossed over. We've got rollout news, chart records, festival lineups, awards coverage, touring updates, and a couple of legacy stories to close the month. Ariana Grande has finally released Hate That I Made You Love Me, the lead single from her upcoming 8th studio album, Petal. The song arrived on May 29th through her Baby Doll Music imprint and Republic Records, and it sets the tone for a rollout that's been building for months with almost puzzle-like precision. That campaign started back on March 8th, when Grande debuted a flower tattoo on her left palm with 8 petals. Then came a Brighter Days hotline message on March 28th that said, "We're counting down the 8s. Oops, I mean the days." On April 28th, she made it official. Petal is coming July 31st, and according to Spotify's countdown page, it will have 12 tracks. Grande also described the album as something that is full of life, growing through the cracks of something cold, hard, and challenging. She later called it a place she'd been too shy or polite to tap into before. The album is executive produced and co-written with Ilya Salmanzadeh, who has worked with her since Problem, and the single itself was made with Ilya and Max Martin. The single rollout kept stretching out the reveal. She announced it on May 8th, then posted an instrumental snippet on May 18th, followed by the first lyrics the next day through the At Brighter Days profile. Sidewalk stencils showed up around California on May 22nd, and by May 26th, the song was already on streaming services, listed at 3 minutes and 18 seconds, with a monochrome portrait and countdown post from Grande. The music video is set for June 1st. After that, Grande moves into a June 8 tour start, with her first major run in 7 years, before Petal arrives on July 31st. As of late May 2026, Mariah Carey still had not formally announced a new studio album or a follow-up to the rarities, but the article says she has been hinting at more archival material, along with expanded holiday plans. That keeps attention on both her vault and her Christmas catalog. That interest makes sense. Carey's 2020 compilation, The Rarities, already showed there is demand for deep cuts and unreleased material, and her holiday dominance is still intact, led by All I Want for Christmas Is You. The song hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 4 separate years, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2023. That run matters because it gave Carey a rare chart distinction. The article says she became the first artist to send the same holiday song to the top of the chart across multiple distinct years. It also notes that she now has 19 #1 hits on the Hot 100, the most of any solo artist and second only to the Beatles overall. Beyond the Christmas track, her wider catalog is also getting fresh life. Songs like Fantasy, Always Be My Baby, and We Belong Together are finding new listeners through TikTok trends, memes, and synchronization deals. Carey's holiday business has also grown into its own lane, with short-run tours, branded experiences, and television specials. The article points to her 2020 Apple TV Plus special, Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special, as another piece of that streaming-era strategy. It also looks back at the 25th anniversary campaign for Butterfly in 2022, which included new remixes and expanded digital content. For now, the clear takeaway is simple. There is no confirmed new album yet, but Carey's catalog and holiday machine are still driving real attention. Then the month turns to chart records. Drake just turned in one of the biggest chart weeks of his career. His song Janice, STFU, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, giving him a 10th #1 debut and a 14th Hot 100 chart topper overall. That also moves him past Michael Jackson for the most Hot 100 #1 singles ever by a male solo artist. Jackson had held that mark for decades, with 13. Drake had been tied with him since 2023, but this new debut breaks the deadlock and extends Drake's lead over Taylor Swift in #1 debuts too. And the song is only part of the story. Drake's 3-album drop, Iceman, Habibti, and Maid of Honor, also made history on the Billboard 200. Iceman opened at #1, Habibti at #2, and Maid of Honor at #3. That makes Drake the first artist ever to hold the top 3 spots at the same time. Iceman led the way with 463,000 equivalent album units in its first week, including 462.2 million on-demand streams. Habibti added 114,000 units, while Maid of Honor came in with 110,000. That gave Drake his 15th #1 album and tied him with Taylor Swift for the most #1 albums by a solo artist. The momentum didn't stop in the US. In Australia, Drake also landed 3 new albums in the ARIA Albums Chart Top 10 in the same week, another first since the chart began in 1983. On the singles side, 15 Drake tracks entered the ARIA Top 50, with 5 in the top 10. Drake just made Billboard history. On the latest albums chart, he became the first artist ever to hold the top 3 spots at the same time, with Iceman at #1, Habibti at #2, and Maid of Honor at #3. Iceman debuted at #1 with 463,000 equivalent album units. That gives Drake his 15th chart topper, breaking Jay-Z's previous record among solo men and R&B hip-hop artists. It also ties Drake with Taylor Swift for the most #1 albums by a solo act. Only the Beatles are still ahead overall, with 19. The rollout had been building for a long time. Drake started teasing Iceman in July 2025 with the first episode of his livestream series. There, he previewed new music, including What Did I Miss and Which One featuring Central C. He then released Iceman on May 15th after nearly 2 years of buildup. On the eve of release, he used his 4th livestream to reveal he was dropping 3 albums at once. Shortly after showing the covers, he put out Iceman, Habibti, and Maid of Honor at midnight, heading into Friday. Habibti opened with 114,000 units, while Maid of Honor moved 110,000. And for BTS, their album Ariana kept extending its own chart run. Billboard says it landed at #10 on the Billboard 200 in its 9th straight week on the chart, making it the first album by a Korean artist to spend 9 weeks in the top 10. It first debuted at #1 back in March, spent its first 3 weeks on top, and earned 42,000 equivalent album units in the week ending May 21st. Harry Styles keeps showing up all over the UK charts. The biggest move this week is Sign of the Times, which pushed back into the official singles chart, Top 40, climbing from number 45 to number 40. That song has already had a long life in Britain. It debuted at #1 back in April 2017, then returned to the singles chart at number 28 on April 16th. Now it's climbing again, and it's not alone. The track also moved up on the download, sales, and streaming rankings, pointing to a wider lift across the board. Styles also picked up another singles entry with Dance No More, which debuted at number 58 and became his 23rd placement on the official singles chart under his own name. And American Girls is still hanging around near the top of the list, slipping only slightly to number 13. The momentum carried over to his albums as well. Harry's House came back onto 4 UK album charts, landing at number 76 on the official albums chart, number 77 on the streaming chart, number 94 on sales, and number 98 on physical albums. Fine Line also returned, showing up on 2 charts at number 69 on streaming and number 70 on the main albums chart, and Kiss All the Time. Disco occasionally re-entered the official vinyl albums chart at number 20, while also holding positions on the main albums, streaming, sales, physical, and downloads tallies. So, across both singles and albums, Harry Styles has a full spread of catalog activity in the UK, with Sign of the Times leading the way and his older records back in circulation too. Now over to touring news. Kehlani and Adele both used the same day to set their touring plans in motion. Kehlani announced a 2026 North American run behind her self-titled album, while Adele revealed her first ever North American headlining tour, the Red Bottoms Tour, set for fall 2026. Kehlani's leg is part of a 33-date Kehlani World Tour, and it starts August 6th in Minneapolis. Duran Bernard, Isaiah Huron, the RTIOT, and Wasil will join on select dates. Before the tour begins, Kehlani is also set to play Roots Picnic, along with a handful of other festival dates. Tickets for Kehlani's run go on sale in stages. Artist pre-sale starts May 27th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time. A live nation pre-sale for select dates follows on May 28th. Then, the general public sale opens May 29th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time through Ticketmaster. The album Behind the Tour debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 last month, and it's Kehlani's first full length since 2024's While We Wait, 2. Adele's announcement is a different milestone. The Slovakian singer's Red Bottoms Tour supports her 2025 debut EP, The Provocateur, and begins in Detroit on September 9th. From there, the run wraps with 2 shows in Mexico City on October 15th and 16th. Her ticket rollout also began with an artist pre-sale on May 27th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, with general public tickets available May 29th through Ticketmaster. A legacy profile comes next. Bob Dylan turned 85, and birthday coverage is once again pointing to just how deep his footprint runs. Born Robert Allen Zimmerman in Duluth, Minnesota, he went from a young folk singer inspired by Woody Guthrie to one of the most important figures in rock history. His early run changed the shape of modern music. His first self-titled album came out in 1962, and the freewheelin' Bob Dylan introduced him as a songwriter the next year. By 1965, with Highway 61 revisited and Like a Rolling Stone, he had pushed folk and rock into new territory. That same year, his electric set at Newport upset many fans. Then, the following summer, a near-fatal motorcycle crash took him off the road for a while. The milestones kept piling up after that. In 1997, after a serious heart infection, he came back with Time Out of Mind, winning 3 Grammy Awards and the Kennedy Center honor. He won an Oscar for Things Have Changed in 2000, published Chronicles in 2004, and received a Pulitzer Special Citation in 2008. Then came the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012, honorary membership in the American Academy of Arts and Letters, and the French Legion of Honor in 2013. The highest profile recognition came in 2016, when he won the Nobel Prize in Literature. Patti Smith read his acceptance speech at the ceremony, and Dylan collected the award in 2017. More recently, he released Rough and Rowdy Ways in 2020 as his 39th studio album, sold his original recordings to Sony Music in 2021, and in 2022 opened the Bob Dylan Center, published The Philosophy of Modern Song, and installed his first permanent artwork in Provence. He has also spent almost every summer since 1988 playing to large crowds across the U.S., and this birthday coverage ties that long career back to the New York folk places where it all began. And we end the act with a new album and tour announcement. Ezra Collective have announced a new album, Here Because of Hope, out September 18th on Partisan. They've also shared the first preview from it, called Only Love, featuring British Gambian rapper P.A.H. Salih Uwu. The album is their first full-length since the 2024 album, Dance, No One's Watching. It also brings in a wide group of guest voices, including Leona Lewis, Lila Ike, Libianca, Letitia Wright, and P.A.H. Salih Uwu. Femi Colioso says the record came from the band thinking about pain in black music and trying to write towards something else. He said the idea was hope. Alongside the album news, Ezra Collective have a run of shows lined up for the month of June. That tour will take them across Europe, North America, Asia, and Australia, so this release arrives with a big stretch of international dates behind it. At Licensing Expo in Las Vegas, Jack and Sharon Osbourne revealed a plan to create an AI-powered interactive hologram of Ozzy Osbourne, using technology from Hyperreal and Proto-Hologram. The idea is for a digital Ozzy to move, speak, and respond to fans in a way that feels like him, using what the companies call digital DNA technology. Sharon Osbourne said people would be able to ask Ozzy anything and hear his answers in his own voice. She said the family wants to take the experience around the world, and that Birmingham should get it first. Reportedly, the avatar is expected to begin appearing in the US and UK by late summer 2026, including through Proto-Luma units. Jack Osbourne pushed back on criticism of the project, saying it would be tasteful and more complex than just linking an image of his father to ChatGPT. He also said his dad would have been into the idea because they had talked about something like this before he died. That death is part of why the project has landed so hard. Ozzy Osbourne died in July 2025 at age 76, less than 3 weeks after performing with Black Sabbath at Villa Park. Now, the family is moving ahead with a digital version of him that they say will be detailed, interactive, and available first in Birmingham before it goes wider. Next is a very different kind of live show. Charlie Puth turned his Madison Square Garden show on May 29th into a full-on homecoming, and he packed it with surprise guests. He was headlining the venue as part of his Whatever's Clever World Tour, the run behind his 4th album, Whatever's Clever, and the sold-out set stretched to 23 songs. The night kept taking unexpected turns. Early on, Art Garfunkel came out for a performance of Simon and Garfunkel's The Boxer, with longtime guitarist Tab Levin helping out. Garfunkel even told the crowd, "You're my student," and Puth said the music Garfunkel made with Paul was a big reason he was there. Midway through the show, Jimmy Fallon joined Puth for Toto's Africa and handed him a custom New York Rangers jersey with Puth and number 26 on the back. Then, Busta Rhymes took over for a stretch, running through Break Ya Neck, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See, and Look at Me Now with Puth and his band. Near the end, Kirk Franklin came out for 2 of his own songs, I Smile and Lean on Me, plus a cover of God's Property's Stomp. Puth said each guest on stage had influenced him musically, and he described the night as both a homecoming and a victory lap, since he grew up nearby in suburban New Jersey. After the Garden stop, Puth was set to continue in Atlantic City on May 30th, then keep the US leg going through mid-June before heading to Europe. That leads into the streaming side of the month. Drake's triple album Rollout became the biggest streaming story in this cluster. After he surprise dropped 3 albums at once on May 15th, users started reporting frozen apps and playback interruptions on Spotify and Apple Music. The release also pushed major records across several platforms. On Spotify, Drake became the most streamed artist in a single day in 2026. His album, Iceman, was the year's most streamed album in a single day, and its opening track, Make Them Cry, logged the biggest single-day song debut of 2026. Together, the 3 albums added up to 43 tracks, giving listeners a lot to hit all at once. The impact spread beyond Spotify. On Apple Music, Iceman, Habibti, and Maid of Honor swept the top 3 spots on the US albums chart within hours of release. And on Amazon Music, Iceman set the platform's largest first 24-hour hip-hop streaming debut globally in 2026. The full 3-album drop also marked Amazon Music's largest single-day debut of the year across any artist in any genre. This fits a pattern in the same cluster. Status is downtracked complaint spikes around major music moments in 2026, including BTS's Arirang comeback in March and Harry Styles' one-night-only Netflix special, which ran into buffering and access problems during its March 8th premiere in Manchester. The common thread is simple. When enough fans show up at once, the stream can start to strain. From streaming complaints to award show results, BTS came away from the 52nd American Music Awards with the night's biggest win, taking Artist of the Year and Song of the Summer at the show in Las Vegas. RM accepted the award on behalf of the group and thanked fans around the world. BTS also made a special live appearance at the ceremony after being nominated for 3 awards. The AMAs aired live on Memorial Day, May 25th, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena on CBS and Paramount+. Queen Latifah hosted the event, returning to the AMAs after co-hosting back in 1995. CBS also rolled out a long list of presenters, including Elisa Liu, Anthony Ramos, Hilary Duff, John Legend, Ludacris, Nikki Glaser, Paula Abdul, and more. The show leaned hard into nostalgia, with Billy Idol receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award and delivering a hit medley, and Karol G picking up the International Artist Award of Excellence while performing. That honor last went to Whitney Houston in 2009. On the winner's side, Cardi B was another major standout, taking home 3 awards: Best Female Hip-Hop Artist, Best Hip-Hop Song for Airtime, and Best Hip-Hop Album for Am I the Drama? She said she'd be back to attend and perform at the 2027 AMAs. Kendrick Lamar also won Best Male Hip-Hop Artist. Mauna Leo took Breakthrough Hip-Hop Artists. Black Eyed Peas won Best Throwback Song for Rock That Body, and Sabrina Carpenter picked up Album of the Year, Best Female Pop Artist, and Best Pop Album. Taylor Swift led nominations with 8, but left without a win. Now to the box office. Michael is now closing in on $800 million worldwide. The latest reporting puts the Michael Jackson biopic at more than $788 million at the global box office. And that total is still climbing, even before Japan comes into play, since the movie doesn't open there until June 12th. The film, directed by Antoine Fuqua and starring Jafar Jackson as Michael, hit theaters on April 24th and broke out fast, with a roughly $97 million opening. Since then, it's kept adding to its run instead of fading out. One report put it at more than $700 million worldwide heading into its 5th weekend. Another had it at $703.8 million, with $282.7 million domestic and $421 million overseas. That fourth frame stretch was especially strong. Michael reclaimed number one at the domestic box office with an $83.8 million weekend, including $26.1 million in the US and $57.7 million internationally across 83 territories. IMAX has also been part of the story, with $5.2 million in global IMAX grosses for the frame and a running IMAX total of $60.4 million worldwide. The milestones are stacking up in the music biopic record books, too. Michael has already passed Elvis, and the reporting says it has become the highest-grossing music biopic in North America. If Japan adds another meaningful boost, it could even go past Bohemian Rhapsody, which finished at $911 million worldwide, and make a serious run at the top spot for the genre. After that, a quick run through new releases. The biggest return in this cluster is Boards of Canada. After 13 years of silence since Tomorrow's Harvest, the Scottish duo is back with Inferno. The review calls it sharp, clear, and guitar-forward, even if it feels a little less huge than their earlier work. That album sits alongside Pitchfork's weekly roundup of notable new releases. It also includes Ice Age, Kurt Weill, Paul McCartney, Ear, Feeble Little Horse, Greg Mendez, Ray Nao, Kik Haibino with Merdzbo, and Lotto. But the common thread here is momentum, long-time acts reappearing, artists stretching their sound, and a few records built around very personal turns. Ice Age are here with their first album in 4 years, and Elias Ronenfelt says they wanted the songs to feel immediate, urgent, raw, and fast. Kurt Weill's new record was recorded and self-produced largely in Philadelphia, while Paul McCartney's first album in 6 years looks back at childhood in post-war Liverpool. Ear's debut on A24 Music uses the idea of a Rumspringa and Feeble Little Horse return 3 years after Girl with Fish, now without founding member Ryan Walchonsky. Greg Mendez's Beautyland is his Dead Oceans debut, and its average song runs under 2 minutes. Ray Nao's Marcria pushes her sound by blending reggaeton with bomba and plena, and Lotto announced her fourth album, Big Mama, on the same day she revealed her first pregnancy with 21 Savage. The cluster also includes Jack Antonoff's fifth Bleachers album, Everyone for 10 Minutes. It leans into bombastic Jersey rock, touches on his wedding day with Margaret Qualley, and lands after a career that has already brought him 13 Grammy Awards. Then, back to the charts. Lady Gaga came close to another UK #1, but Drake blocked her path. Her live project, Apple Music Live Mayhem Requiem, landed at #2 on the UK official album downloads chart, held off by Drake's Iceman. The release was recorded in January 2026 during a special show at the Wiltern Theater in Los Angeles. It arrives a little more than a year after Mayhem, which came out in early March 2025. On the downloads chart, this is Gaga's 14th appearance there, and her 10th time, finishing between #1 and #10. Until now, she had never stalled at #2. The same project also reached #50 on the UK official albums sales chart, which the article describes as a new low for Gaga on that tally. Before this week, her weakest showing there had been Dawn of Chromatica, which peaked at #32. And there's still movement for the older catalog. The Fame climbed from #53 to #48 on the UK official albums chart, while holding at #49 on the official albums streaming list. And we close the act with tour feedback. Harry Styles' team is reviewing the stage setup on his Together Together World Tour after fans complained about obstructed views from the floor. The issue centers on an unusual stadium design, with 3 10-foot-high walkways circling the floor and curved bridges connecting sections of the venue. The tour launched in Amsterdam and is a 67-date run across 7 cities, including long stays in London, Amsterdam, and New York. But some concertgoers say the premium floor spots didn't deliver the view they expected. One fan, 19-year-old Nadia Wesseling, said she paid €350 or £300 for early entry to get near the front, but still found that pretty much every spot in the first few rows had an obstructed view. Styles' team says the floor concept was meant to give fans freedom of movement and different viewing angles, not just one fixed position. They also said any restricted sightline areas are being reviewed and adjusted where possible as long as safety rules allow it. BBC Newsbeat reported that changes are expected in time for the London shows in June and July, although one insider said the fix could require a major redesign. The complaint started right away in Amsterdam, where a reviewer said the bridges blocked the singer from view for large parts of the show. Fans online have made similar complaints about the floor sections, especially after paying hundreds of euros for those tickets. Styles has not addressed the backlash publicly. For now, the main question is, how much of the staging can be changed without disrupting the rest of the tour? Beyoncé was spotted supporting Jay-Z at a private performance in Philadelphia on Friday night. She stood near the stage and watched as he ran through parts of his upcoming set. Multiple reports say she kept a low profile and didn't address the crowd or join in, but she was there as he gave a small audience an early look at what he's preparing. The preview came just ahead of Jay-Z's headlining slot at the Roots Picnic Festival. This year's festival is set for 2026, and for the first time, it will take place at Belmont Plateau in Fairmount Park as a 2-day event. Jay-Z and the Roots are set to share that headline spot, which coverage describes as a reunion years in the making. Shanji, who manages the Roots, called both the move to Belmont Plateau and the Jay-Z collaboration bucket list moments. He also said the team was grateful to Mayor Sherelle Parker and other Philadelphia officials for helping make it happen. The lineup also includes Erykah Badu, Kehlani, Grande, T.I., Mariah the Scientist, De La Soul, Tamar Braxton, Ledisi, and Jermaine Dupri. The Roots link-up is being framed as Jay-Z and the Roots' first reunion since Unplugged in 2001, and after Philadelphia, Jay-Z is also set to take over Yankee Stadium for a 2-night run in July. Then, a smaller fan moment. Taylor Swift sent an 8-year-old fan named Madeline a surprise package, complete with a handwritten note and a signed guitar, after a TikTok video of the moment went viral. The gesture came after Madeline asked a neighbor to play one of Swift's songs, and the whole thing quickly turned into a sweet social media moment. It started on April 23rd, when Madeline was doing homework and heard her neighbor, Ethan Hayes, playing guitar in his yard. Madeline's mom, Natalie Hulick, posted the video of her daughter asking him to play a Taylor Swift song. Ethan said he panicked a little, but he played Love Story for her, and Madeline loved it. According to Madeline's family, they didn't expect much when they shared the clip. But the post took off, climbing to around 10,000 views, then 15,000, then 20,000 overnight. Then, on May 26th, Natalie shared Swift's handwritten note. In it, Swift said it made her so happy that Madeline asked her neighbor to play her song and added, "I'm sending you your own guitar in case you ever want to learn too." Swift also included a signed guitar from her Midnight's merchandise collection, along with the note, "Sending you all my love." Next, a new album rollout. ROHL Model has announced his third LP, Chuck Timely and the Hourglass. It's the follow-up to Kansas Anymore, and the new album is set for August 7th through Interscope. The lead single, High Hopes 3000, is due out first on June 3rd. The rollout has been building for a while. Tucker Pillsbury started teasing the project back in April with an Instagram account tied to his alter ego, Chuck Timely. That had fans guessing before the album was even confirmed. He'd also released the deluxe version of Kansas Anymore in February 2025, so this new LP marks the next step in that run. And while the release is still a couple of months away, ROHL Model is already lining up live dates for the summer. He's set to play festivals including Primavera, Bonnaroo, Leeds, and Reading, among others. For now, the next concrete move is the June 3rd release of High Hopes 3000, followed by the album in August. Back to the AMAs for a reunion performance. As the Pussycat Dolls stepped on stage at the 2026 American Music Awards in Las Vegas, Nicole Scherzinger, Ashley Roberts, and Kimberly Wyatt delivered their first live performance together in 20 years. The trio opened with a medley of hits, including Buttons and When I Grow Up. They also performed Club Song live for the first time. The appearance mattered because it marked a true return for the group, even as their reunion rollout has been uneven. More than 30 U.S. tour dates were canceled, and in North America, only one show was still on the books. That date is set for June 6th in West Hollywood, California. There is still a Europe run attached to the comeback. Pussycat Dolls are scheduled to play 20 shows there between September 9th and October 13th. So for now, The AMA's performance stands as the clearest sign that the trio is back on stage, but the tour picture is still in flux. That sets up a more reflective performance story. Paul McCartney is still performing the song Here Today, and he says it can still hit him hard every time he sings it. He wrote the song 1 year after John Lennon's death, as his way of trying to speak to his old bandmate after losing him. It first appeared on the album Tug of War in 1982, but it never really stayed in the past. McCartney has said that, at least once on a tour, the song just gets him. In a 2004 interview, he talked about singing it, and suddenly realizing how deeply he missed Lennon. He later wrote that performing it is a charged experience, especially now that he often plays it as part of a set with the song Blackbird in front of a crowd where plenty of people end up crying. The story behind the song sits inside a relationship that was close, but complicated. Lennon and McCartney had years of creative tension. The breakup of the Beatles made things worse, and Lennon even wrote the bitter track How Do You Sleep about McCartney. But there were moments of contact too, including a visit from Paul and Linda McCartney to one of Lennon's recording sessions in 1974, and even a brief talk in 1976 about the two of them reuniting for Saturday Night Live. After Lennon was shot outside the Dakota in New York on December 8, 1980, McCartney was left with the kind of loss he said he could not really put into words. According to Linda McCartney and Carl Perkins, Lennon's last words to him were, "Think about me now and then, old friend." That's the line McCartney was still carrying when he turned grief into the song Here Today. Then a new single release. Greta Van Fleet are back with a new single called Play Your Games, their first new song for the first time in 3 years. The band released the track on May 29th, along with a music video, after giving it its live debut a few days earlier at an intimate show at New York City's Bowery Ballroom. That Bowery set also included another new song, Tear It Down. So this release does more than just break the silence around a standalone single. It also offers a first look at where the band may be heading next. Play Your Games was produced by Mike Elizondo, and Jake Kiska says the song's defining trait is irreverence. He described it as this beautiful nature of seizing a moment. A new Greta Van Fleet album hasn't been announced yet, but the band's latest single is already being framed as an early glimpse of what comes next. And we finish with a festival lineup. Riot Fest has unveiled its 2026 lineup, and the Chicago Festival is set to return to Douglas Park from September 18th through September 20th. The 3-day event will feature more than 100 acts, and tickets are on sale now. Headliners and top-billed names include Alanis Morissette, Morrissey, Tool, 21 Pilots, Pierce the Veil, Nas, Iggy Pop, Elvis Costello and the Imposters, Patti Smith and her band, and Santa Gold. Also on the lineup are the Sex Pistols, featuring Frank Carter and Public Image Limited. One report also notes the ongoing feud between Frank Carter and John Lydon. Riot Fest has been around since 2005, and one source says last year marked its 20th anniversary. For this year's edition, the festival is leaning into a wide mix of rock, punk, and alternative acts. 3-day general admission passes start at $339.98, and VIP tickets are listed at $449.98. Metallica are asking British fans to donate blood and plasma as they get ready to kick off the United Kingdom leg of their M72 World Tour. The campaign brings together NHS Blood and Transplant, the Welsh Blood Service, and the Scottish National Blood Transfusion Service, with one clear aim: to get existing donors back in and bring new donors forward around the band's concert dates. The timing matters because blood only lasts 35 days. And as Jerry Gogarty from NHS Blood and Transplant put it, every donation can save up to 3 lives. The services say support is needed for trauma victims, cancer patients, new mothers, and people living with long-term conditions like sickle cell disease. Metallica say they want to give something meaningful back to the communities that welcome them on tour. The band also pointed to past work in the United States and Australia, saying those partnerships helped raise awareness and support patients. In this United Kingdom push, they're asking fans to step up and be part of something bigger than the show. The tour hits Glasgow's Hampden Park and Cardiff's Principality Stadium in late June, before 2 dates at London Stadium in early July. Alan Prosser of the Welsh Blood Service called it a unique moment for blood donation across the United Kingdom, saying the band's reach can help connect with new audiences and spotlight the ongoing need for blood. Next up is a new release and a bigger project behind it. Wyclef Jean has kicked off a new rollout with Mr. October, the latest single from his album Clef Notes. The album is set to arrive on June 26th, and it's the first piece of a bigger 7-album project he's calling Quantum Leap. The update came in a CBS News video published on May 29th, where Jean talked about why he plans to release 7 albums in 1 year and shared the story behind the new song. For now, Clef Notes is the immediate focus, but it also sets the direction for the larger project. So this isn't just a single release. It's the opening move in a much bigger plan from the Grammy Award-winning artist, with Clef Notes leading the way, and Mr. October giving the first clear look at what that 7-album rollout is meant to sound like. That leads into the rights and AI conversation. Taylor Swift has filed a trademark application covering her voice and stage image. The filing includes a photo of her in the Eras Tour bodysuit, along with 2 voice recordings. Hey, it's Taylor, and hey, it's Taylor Swift. On paper, it's a small legal move, but it fits a much bigger push to control how her name, voice, and image are used. Swift has been doing that for years. In 2014, she pulled her full catalog from Spotify over low artist pay, then returned in 2017. In 2019, after Ithaca Holdings bought her back catalog, she started re-recording her older albums, and the new Taylor's versions ended up outperforming the originals on streaming services. The timing also matters because Swift has already been hit by deepfakes. The article says she has faced fake pornographic images, along with AI-generated photos of her wearing a Swifties for Trump shirt before the last U.S. presidential election. That's part of why this story lands inside a much wider legal fight over AI and identity. The piece also points to the reintroduced No Fakes Act, backed by a bipartisan group of lawmakers. It would give Americans an intellectual property right in their voice and likeness, let people sue distributors of unauthorized deepfakes, and require platforms to build notice and takedown systems for reported replica content. Supporters say it would protect artists and entertainers, while also helping guard against fraudulent impersonation and other abuse. There's already some precedent behind all this. Bette Midler successfully sued Ford in 1988 over an impersonator in a TV ad, and in the UK, the Musicians Union is pushing for consent and payment around AI training and AI-made music, while the government has stepped back from broad AI training exemptions. And the PRS says it will not register AI-generated works, only AI-assisted ones. Back to the awards show from there, Zara Larsson left the American Music Awards, or the AMAs, with a night to remember. According to the winners list, she won Breakthrough Album of the Year for Midnight Sun, and she also picked up Collaboration of the Year with Pink Pantheress for Stateside. That result came after Larsson was in the running in 5 categories. The Swedish pop star was also nominated for Social Song of the Year and Breakthrough Pop Artist. She was in the Breakthrough Album race against names like Olivia Dean and Somber. Her Stateside remix had already reached #1 on Spotify's global chart, which helped put that collaboration in the spotlight. The show was broadcast live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, with Queen Latifah hosting. Taylor Swift entered the ceremony with 8 nominations, the most of anyone, but Larsson still walked away with 2 wins of her own. The awards were decided by a mix of radio play and audience voting. The full winners list also included Justin Bieber, Sabrina Carpenter, Katsiki, Sam Barber, BTS, SZA, Somber, and Tyla. For Larsson, the takeaway is simple. She turned 5 nominations into 2 confirmed AMA wins. Then a farewell date announcement. Sepultura have confirmed that their final show ever will take place on November 7th at Mercado Livre Arena Pacaembu in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's the last date on the farewell run the band first announced back in 2024, and they say that tour will wrap in 2026. The farewell night is being built as more than just one last performance. Former drummer John Dolabella and ex-guitarist Jairo Guedes are set to appear, along with Metal Allegiance, Crisian, and Sacred Reich. For a band with 4 decades behind them, it makes this final show feel like a true closing chapter, not just a standard tour stop. Ticket sales are moving fast too. The Santander pre-sale starts May 28th at noon for select and private clients, with another pre-sale for other Santander customers on May 29th at noon. General sales open May 30th at 10 a.m. online and 11 a.m. at the box office. And Sepultura are not even at that finish line yet. They're currently in the middle of their 40th anniversary tour, with California dates in Berkeley and Los Angeles on May 28th and 29th, before the band heads deeper into the final stretch toward that November show in Sao Paulo. A short editorial note follows. An editorial in the Indian Express says Paul McCartney matters here in a very specific way, as a source in the training data behind AI-generated music. Published on May 30th, 2026, the piece looks at what happens when familiar musical voices and styles are absorbed into systems that can then create new songs. That makes McCartney less a celebrity reference and more a symbol of a bigger question about where these models get their musical knowledge. The article's point is a narrow one. If AI music is built from existing recordings and compositions, then the artists behind that material are part of the foundation, whether or not they were asked. The result is a reminder that AI music does not happen in a vacuum. It depends on past work. And that raises the question of how much of an artist's creative identity can be reused when a machine is trained to imitate or recombine it. In this case, McCartney stands in for the wider debate over authorship, influence, and consent in machine-made music. We end on a death report and remembrance. Rob Bass, one half of Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, has died at 59 after a private battle with cancer. He died on Friday, May 22nd. For hip-hop fans, it closes the story on an artist whose biggest work helped define late 80s rap for a wide audience. Bass was born Robert Ginyard in New York City in 1967. He and DJ Easy Rock, whose real name was Rodney Bryce, first connected as classmates at a Harlem public elementary school. They released their first joint single, DJ Interview, in 1986, and that track led to a deal with Profile Records the following year. Their best-known song, It Takes Two, became a multi-platinum hit and reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot Dance Music and Club Play chart. The record used the drum break from Lynn Collins' 1972 song, Think About It. Bass later said they were just happy the song connected with people in the Bronx and Harlem. They didn't expect it to cross over the way it did. Bass also put out a solo album, The Incredible Bass, in 1989. After news of his death, artists including DJ Jazzy Jeff, Vanilla Ice, Grandmaster Flash, and Fat Joe paid tribute. Grandmaster Flash called him one of the gentlemen of this thing we call hip-hop, and remembered him as a great conversationalist and a cool electric performer on stage. That's the May recap. See you next month.